Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, 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 Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. So we are going to memorize shlokas from chapter 14 this week. We completed chapter 13. The last one we memorized was 1326. That's the last memorization verse. Now let's recite chapter 14. 14.3 is the first memorization verse. Chapter 14, the three modes of material nature. Text 3. Please repeat. Mama yonirmahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhavah sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Mama yonirmahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhavah sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Mama yonirmahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhavah sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Okay, so now you can translation. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings. O son of Bharata. Okay. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Okay, so now you can start reciting. If anyone needs to go first, please raise your hand. Aditi Lata Mataji and Arunita.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mama yonir mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Arunita is not.
Okay. Inba.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Guru Shri.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mama yonir mahat brahma tasmin garbham dadamyam sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Translation, Guru Shri Prabhupada. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Mataji, others will go last.
Okay. Isha.
Mama yonirmahad brahma tasman garbham dadhamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata.
Yeah, Bharata. Okay. Krishna Shish.
मम योनिर्महद् ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहं सम्भवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata.
Madhava.
Tasman garbham dadhamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata.
Rasapriya.
Brahma tasman garbham dadhamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. The total material substance
called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, also of Phalata.
Yeah. Usha Mataji and Meda.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mama Yonir Mahat Brahma, Tasmin Garbham Dadamyaham, Sambhava Sarva Bhutani Nam, Tatho Bhavati Bharata. Translation: the total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings. O son of Bharata. May I read last message.
Okay. So next, Prajna and Saujanya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mama Yonir Mahat Brahma, Tasmin Garbham Dadhamiham, Sambhava Sarva Bhutanam, Tato Bhavati Bharata. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Prajna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mama Yonir Mahad Brahma, Tasmin Garbham Tadiyaham, Sambhava Sarvabhutanam, Tato Bhavati Bharata. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Medha.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mama Yonirmahat Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dadamyaham Sambhava Sarvabhutanam Tato Bhavati Bharata. Translation: the total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and that is the Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the birth of all living beings, O son of Bharata.
Yeah. Anyone else? Whoever's ready? Yes, Inyanba.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mama Yonirmahad Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dadamyaham Sambhava Sarvabhutanam Tato Bhavati Bharata. Translation: the total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mama Yonirmahad Brahma, Tasmin Garbham Dadhamyaham, Sambhavan Sarvabhutanam, Tato Bhavati Bharata. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata.
Mataji is there?
No, Mataji.
Okay. Anyone else? Arunita, are you ready? Okay, so we'll go to Srimad Bhagavatam then. One thing that I couldn't find in the translation is the word mama. Right? Mama Yonir Mahad Brahma. Tasmin Garbham Dadamyaham. So aham, I impregnate aham. Right? Tasmin means that Mahat Brahma, that Mahat, the total material existence. That's also Brahma. and I'm impregnating that. Garbham, tasmin garbham dadhami aham. And by that impregnation, sambhavaha sarvabhutanam. Tato bhavati bharata. So all living entities, all living bodies, right? They are made possible by my impregnating this Mahat Brahma, the total material existence. I impregnate the, but Mama means that Brahma is mine. I think that's how we should take, right? Mama means my. The translation my is not there. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth. So that the total my, that should be my, right? So anyway, is the source of birth. And it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings. Okay. Did anyone not recite yet? Nilambari Radha Mataji, would you like to recite?
Sure, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai Guru Maharaj.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Mama Yonir Mahat Brahma Tashmin Garbham Dadamiyam Shambhavaha Sarvabhutanam Tato Bhavati Bharata. Translation: the total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the birth of all living beings, O son of Bharata.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ma'am.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's begin reading Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, starting Canto 10, Chapter 1, Text 1. But before we start Text 1, we have to read the summary. I'll read the summary. Canto 10, Chapter 1, The Advent of Lord Krishna. Introduction. The summary of the first chapter is as follows. This chapter describes how Kamsa, frightened by hearing an omen about his being killed by the eighth son of Devaki, killed Devaki's sons one after another. When Sukadev Goswami finished describing the dynasty of Yadu, as well as the dynasties of the moon god and sun god, Maharaj Parikshit requested him to describe Lord Krishna, who appeared with Baladev in the Yadu dynasty, and how Krishna performed his activities within this world. Krishna is transcendental, the king said, and therefore to understand his activities is the occupation of liberated persons. Hearing of Krishna Leela is the boat by which to achieve the ultimate goal of life. Except for an animal killer or one who is following a policy of suicide, every intelligent person must strive to understand Krishna and his activities. Krishna was the only worshipable deity for the Pandavas. When Maharaj Parikshit was in the womb of his mother Uttara, Krishna saved him from the attack of the Brahma Shastra. Now, Maharaj Parikshit asked Sukadev Goswami how his lordship Baladev, the son of Rohini, could have appeared in the womb of Devaki. Why did Krishna transfer himself from Mathura to Vrindavan? King Parikshit asked. And how did he live there with his family members? What did Krishna do in Mathura and Vrindavan? And why did he kill his maternal uncle Kamsa? For how many years did Krishna reside in Dwaraka? And how many queens did he have? Maharaj Parikshit asked Sukadev Goswami all these questions. He also requested Sukadev Goswami to describe other activities of Krishna about which he could not inquire. When Sukadev Goswami began to speak about Krishna consciousness, Maharaj Parikshit forgot the fatigue brought about by his fasting. Enthusiastic to describe Krishna, Sukadev Goswami said, like the waters of the Ganges, descriptions of the activities of Krishna can purify the entire universe. The speaker, the inquirer, and the audience all become purified. Once, when the entire world was overburdened by the increasing military power of demons in the form of kings, Mother Earth assumed the shape of a cow and approached Lord Brahma for relief. Sympathetic to Mother Earth's lamentation, Brahma, accompanied by Lord Shiva and other demigods, took the cow-shaped Mother Earth to the shore of the milk ocean, where he offered prayers to please Lord Vishnu, who lay there on an island in transcendental ecstasy. Brahma thereafter understood the advice of Mahavishnu, who informed him that he would appear on the surface of the earth to mitigate the burden created by the demons. The demigods, along with their wives, should appear there as associates of Lord Krishna in the family of Yadu to increase the sons and grandsons in that dynasty. By the will of Lord Krishna, Anantadev would appear first as Balaram, and Krishna's potency Yogamaya would also appear. Brahma informed Mother Earth about all this, and then he returned to his own abode. After marrying Devaki, Vasudev was returning home with her on a chariot driven by Kamsa, her brother, when an ominous voice addressed Kamsa, warning him that Devaki's eighth son would kill him. Upon hearing this omen, Kamsa was immediately ready to kill Devaki, but Vasudev diplomatically began to instruct him. Vasudev stressed that it would not be good for Kamsa to kill his younger sister, especially at the time of her marriage. Anyone who possesses a material body must die. Vasudev advised him, every living entity lives in a body for some time and then transmigrates to another body. But one is unfortunately misled into accepting the body as the soul. If a person under this mistaken conception wants to kill another body, he is condemned as hellish. Because Kamsa was not satisfied by Vasudev's instructions, Vasudev devised a plan. He offered to bring Kamsa all of Devaki's children so that Kamsa could kill them. Why then should Kamsa kill Devaki now? Kamsa was satisfied by this proposal. In due course of time, when Devaki gave birth to a child, Vasudev brought the newborn baby to Kamsa, who, upon seeing Vasudev's magnanimity, was struck with wonder. When Vasudev gave Kamsa the child, Kamsa, showing some intelligence, said that since he was to be killed by the eighth child, why should he kill the first? Although Vasudev did not trust him, Kamsa requested Vasudev to take the child back. Later, however, after Narada approached Kamsa and disclosed to him that the demigods were appearing in the Yadu and Vrishni dynasties and conspiring to kill him, Kamsa decided to kill all the children born in these families, and he also decided that any child born from the womb of Devaki must be killed. Thus, he arrested and imprisoned both Devaki and Vasudeva and killed 6 of their sons, one after another. Narada had also informed Kamsa that in his previous birth, Kamsa was Kalanemi, a demon killed by Vishnu. Consequently, Kamsa became a great enemy to all the descendants of the Yadu Vamsa, the Yadu dynasty. He even arrested and imprisoned his own father Ugrasena, for Kamsa wanted to enjoy the kingdom alone. Krishna has threefold pastimes: the Vraja Leela, Mathura Leela, and Dwaraka Leela. As already mentioned, in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 90 chapters which describe all these Leelas. The first 4 chapters describe Brahma's prayers for the relief of the earth's burden. First 4 chapters describe Brahma's prayers for the relief of the earth's burden. And they also describe the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chapters 5 through 39 recount Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. The 40th chapter describes how Krishna enjoyed in the water of the Yamuna and how Akrura offered prayers. Chapters 41 through 51, 11 chapters, tell of Krishna's pastimes in Mathura, and chapters 52 through 90, 39 chapters relate Krishna's pastimes in Dwaraka. Chapters 29 through 33 describe Krishna's dancing with the gopis, known as the Rasa Leela. Therefore, these 5 chapters are known as Rasa Panchadhyaya. The 47th chapter of the 10th canto is a description known as the Brahmara Gita. So you may want to memorize these chapters, especially the Rasa Panchadhyaya is chapter 29 through 33. And then Brahmara Gita is 47th chapter. And also the previous paragraph, which chapter to which chapter is Vraja Leela, and then which chapters are the Mathura Leela, which chapters are Dwarka Leela. I can go over that one more time. First 4 chapters are about Lord Brahma's prayers and Krishna's advent. Okay, first 4 chapters, appearance of Lord Krishna. So the prayers by the demigods and appearance of Lord Krishna is in the first 4 chapters. 5 to 39 is Vraja Leela, Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan after his appearance, pastimes in Vrindavan. 5 to 39. 40 is in between, Krishna in Yamuna and Akrura's offering prayers. Okay, 40. Then 41 to 51, easy to remember, right? 41 to 51 is in Mathura. 41 to 51 is in Mathura. And 52 to 90 is Dwaraka. Who will tell me now? Which chapters are covering which parts? Who will tell? Okay, I will ask. What is the appearance of Krishna is covered in which chapters? Is anyone there?
1 to 4, Mataji.
Yes, thank you. And Vrindavan Leela. Inya? Vrindavan Leela is which chapters? Five to 39. Okay, 5 to 39. What is 40? Chapter 40 is what? Akrura's press. This is Krishna now going to Mathura, so he's on the way. Okay, up to 39 is Vrindavan. Then 40 is Krishna's on the way to Mathura, so he's in Yamuna, in the waters of Yamuna, and there's a pastime there. Akrura, he sees, Krishna on the chariot, and he sees in the waters also Lord Vishnu. So he sees the same Lord. So that is Akrura offering praise. That is between Mathura and Vrindavan. Krishna going to Mathura. So 5 to 39 is Vrindavan Leela. 40 is Akrura's offering praise, Krishna in the Yamuna. And then the next 41 to 51 is Mathura, Krishna's pastimes in Mathura. 52 to 90 is pastimes in Dwarka. Okay? Okay. So now we'll begin. Jai Ganesh Prabhu is supposed to begin reading today. Just recite the verse. Srirajo Vacha Kathito Vamsha Vistaro Bhavata Soma Suryayoh Ragyam Chobhaya Vamshyanam Charitam Paramadbhutam. Yes, Prabhuji.
King Parikshit said, "My dear Lord, you have elaborately described the dynasties of both the moon god and the sun god with the exalted and wonderful character of the kings."
Yes. So, purport Isha.
At the end of the 9th canto, 24th chapter, Sukadev Goswami summarized the activities of Krishna. He spoke of how Krishna had personally appeared to reduce the burden of the earth, how he had manifested his pastimes as a householder, and how, soon after his birth, he had transferred himself to his Rajabhumi Leela. Parikshit Maharaj, being naturally a devotee of Krishna, wanted to hear more about Lord Krishna. Therefore, to encourage Sukadev Goswami to continue speaking about Krishna and give further details, he thanked Sukadev Goswami for having described the activities of Krishna in brief. Sukadev Goswami had said,
Jato Gatah Pitrigrihad Vrajamedhitartho. Can you recite like that?
Jato Gata Pitrigrihad Rajam Edhitartho Hadvarapun Sutta Shatani Kritorudara Utpadyateshu Purusha Kratubhi Samije Atmanamaatmanigamam Prathaya Ganeshu
Janeshu.
Janeshu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, known as Leela Purushottam, appeared as the son of Vasudev, but immediately left his father's home and went to Vrindavan to expand his loving relationships with his confidential devotees. In Vrindavan, the Lord killed many demons, and afterward he returned to Dwaraka, where, according to Vedic principles, he married many wives who were the best of women, begot through them hundreds of sons, and performed sacrifices for his own worship to establish the principles of householder life. Bhagavatam 9.24.66.
Krishna Shish.
The Yadu dynasty belonged to the family descending from Soma, the moon god. Although the planetary systems are so arranged that the sun comes first, before the moon, Parikshit Maharaj gave more respect to the dynasty of the moon god, the Soma Vansha, because in the Yadava dynasty, descending from the moon, Krishna had appeared. There are two different Kshatriya families of the royal order, one descending from the king of the moon planet, and the other descending from the king of the sun. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, he generally appears in a Kshatriya family because he comes to establish religious principles and in the life of righteousness. According to the Vedic system, the Kshatriya family is the protector of the human race. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as Lord Ramachandra, he appeared in the Surya Vamsha, the family descended from the sun god. And when he appeared as Lord Krishna, he did so in the Yadu dynasty or Yadu Vamsha, whose descent was from the moon god. In the ninth canto, 24th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a long list of the kings of the Yadu Vamsha. All the kings in both the Soma Vamsha and Surya Vamsha were great and powerful, and Maharaj Parikshit praised them very highly. Rajyam Bhaya Vamshyanam Charitam Paramabhutam. Nonetheless, he wanted to hear more about the Soma Vamsha because that was the dynasty in which Krishna had appeared.
Yeah, continue.
The supreme abode of the personality of God, Krishna, is described in Brahma Samhita as the abode of Chintamani. Chintamani Prakara Sadma Sukalpa Vriksha Lakshavita Susrati Abhipalayantam. The Vrindavan Dham on this earth is a replica of that same abode. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 8.20, in the spiritual sky there is another eternal nature, transcendental to manifested and unmanifested matter. The manifested world can be seen in the form of many stars and planets, such as the moon, the sun, and moon. But beyond this is the unmanifested, which is imperceptible to those who are embodied. And beyond this unmanifested matter is the spiritual kingdom, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as supreme and eternal. That kingdom is never annihilated. Although material nature is subject to repeated creation and annihilation, that spiritual nature remains as it is eternally. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that spiritual nature, the spiritual world, is described as Vrindavan, Guru Vrindavan, or Vajradhan. The elaborate description of the above mentioned shloka in the 9th canto, Jato Gata Prihat, Bhagavad Gita 9.
Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam 9.24.66 will be found here in the 10th canto.
Okay. So this is the beginning. This is the first chapter, first shloka of the first chapter of the 10th canto. Parikshit Maharaj is saying, Kathito Vamsha Vistaro Bhavata Soma Suryayo. Pay attention. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying, you have described Vamsha, dynasties, Vistaro, in detail. You have, or you have elaborated, right? You have elaborated the Vamshas of Soma and Surya. That means the moon dynasty and sun dynasty. Or the Vamshas have been elaborated by you, right? Have been described by you. Which Vamshas? Soma and Surya, Vamshas of the moon and the sun. The dynasties of the moon and the sun have been elaborated by you. Ragyam Chobhaya Vamshyanam. Ragyam means of the kings. Chobhaya Cha Ubhaya. Ubhaya means both moon and sun dynasties. Vamshyanam. Vamshyanam means plural of the dynasties. Charitam Paramadbhutam. So you told me about the various kings that appeared in both these dynasties, the Surya Vamsa and the Chandra Vamsa together. Both these Vamsas you have told me, and their character, right? Their activities, their qualities. What your description about these kings, it's wonderful. It's very Parama Adbhutam. It's it's exalted and wonderful. Okay, Parama, supremely wonderful, like that. Parikshit Maharaj is saying. What was the last thing that Parikshit Maharaj heard in the 9th canto? The last thing was text 66 and 67 of the 24th chapter. So 66 said what? About after Krishna's appearance, Krishna left his father's home, Vasudev's home, and went to Vrindavan. Why? To expand loving relationships with his confidential devotees. And then he returned to Dwaraka and he married many wives and he had sons and he lived an ideal life according to Vedic principles. This is text 66. And then text 67 said that Krishna caused, due to misunderstanding, so he caused the annihilation of the kings with military forces. For example, the battle of Kurukshetra also happened. And after this, he gave instructions to Uddhava. And in due course of time, Krishna also returned to his abode. That is text 67. So the whole of 9th canto had described. How did the 9th canto even start? Because if you remember in the 8th canto, the 8th canto is talking about all the Manus, not just the Manus, actually Manvantaras. 8th canto is talking about Manvantaras, different Manvantaras. And when you talk about a Manvantara, then you have to talk about who is the Manu of that particular Manvantara, who are the demigods, who are the Saptarishis, like that. They all change. The government changes in each Manvantara. But that's not the main thing. Who are the demigods? Who are the Manvantara? That's not the important thing. Is how did the Lord appear? Because in every Manvantara, there is Manvantara avatar. In each Manvantara, the Lord appears. His avatars come in each Manvantara. So what were the avatars? What were the, how did the Lord appear in each of these Manvantaras? What were his special activities? All his activities are special. So what are his activities in this Manvantara? Like that. That was the question. So in answer to that, because Swayambhuva Manvantara was already discussed from the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam means when did we start discussing about Kardamamuni Devahuti? So that we discussed in the 3rd canto onwards, right? From 3rd canto onwards, we start talking about the marriage of Devahuti. So before that, actually 3rd canto, Vidura and Maitreya's conversation. So there it starts about creation. Then how Lord Brahma created Manu, Swayambhuva Manu and his wife Shatarupa, and then their children, Uttanpad, Priyavrata, 2 boys and 3 girls, Akuti, Devhuti, Prasuti, and then their descendants. So the first Manvantara, Swayambhuva Manvantara, and while discussing Swayambhuva Manvantara, we talk about Varahadev, right? First Varahadev appears and that is discussed. So the first Manvantara is already covered. So therefore, now not repeating that again, Sukadeva Goswami begins from the next Manvantara. After that, the next Manvantara. Then which avatar came? What were his activities? And Parikshit Maharaj would ask, can you please tell about this? For example, about when we talked about Gajendra, then about that pastime. And Samudra Manthan, in that we talk about the Aja, right? The Lord. So he appears in 2 ways. One as Kurma holding that Mandara hill on his back, and on top of Mandara hill also he appears, the Lord Vishnu form, and he is standing on top to support the Mandara hill so that this churning of milk ocean could take place. So like this. And then in this way discussing the various avatars in different Manvantaras, finally at the end of the 8th canto, we read about the Matsya Avatara, isn't it? How King Satyavrata, we read about Matsya Avatar. King Satyavrata, he found a fish, and then the fish wanted to, was asking him to give a bigger place to live, And finally, he had to put him in the ocean, and then he revealed that he's the Lord, Supreme Lord, and how, he should collect all the Vedas on one boat, and the fish would protect, Matsya Avatar would protect that until the next Manvantara. And in the next Manvantara, this Satyavrata, King Satyavrata, would appear as Vaivasvata Manu. He would become the next Manu, like that. So until then there was description. Now Parikshit, so which Manvantara are we in now? We are in Vaivasvata Manvantara. We are currently in the Vaivasvata Manvantara. This is the 7th Manvantara. So when the discussion after this Satyavrata, he was discussed, King Satyavrata, he's going to become the next Manu, was discussed. Then Parikshit Maharaj wanted to hear about all the descendants of Vaivasvata Manu. This is the current Manvantara. He was interested in hearing about the descendants, the dynasties of Vaivasvata Manu in detail. So then Sukadeva Goswami began to discuss, and then he discussed in Vaivasvata Manu. First, he discussed the Surya Vamsa, the Sun dynasty, and the Sun dynasty ended with what? With the sweet pastimes of Lord Ramchandra. And then he started the Moon dynasty, and the Moon dynasty ended with the description of the sweet description of Lord Krishna. So that is why these two dynasties are prominent. Although other dynasties were also discussed before the 9. So far 9 cantos have been completed. So in these 9 cantos, the other dynasties were also discussed. Other dynasties in different manvantras. So other dynasties were all, like Swayambhuva Manu's dynasty is discussed, and other dynasties. But in this verse specifically, Parikshit Maharaj is pointing out Soma and Surya Vamshas, Moon dynasty and Sun dynasty. Why he's pointing out only at Moon and Sun dynasties? Because both these dynasties end with the sweet pastimes of the Supreme Lord. You don't see that in other dynasties. That is why he specifically mentions the Moon and Sun dynasty. That's one point. Another point you will see here, look at the verse. He's saying, Soma Surya Yoho Katito Vamsha Vistaro Bhavata Soma Surya Yoho. By you, the Vamshas of Soma and Surya have been described. Why he is saying Soma and Surya? Why not Surya and Soma? Is it just by chance? No, it is not by chance. If you see the 9th canto, which dynasty was discussed first? Sun dynasty, right? Then why Parikshit Maharaj is not saying first the Sun dynasty and then the Moon dynasty? Why he is pointing out Soma Surya, you have discussed the dynasties of the Moon and the Sun. What is the reason? Can you guess? Why he is taking the name of Moon dynasty first? Okay, if you need some more help, I can give. Yes,
Because
Mataji.
Krishna is further from the Moon dynasty.
Yes,
Okay.
Krishna is the source, Mataji.
Because Krishna is the source of
all the incarnation. Krishna is the main.
So why particularly this Sun and Moon dynasties? Why did he switch?
Because Krishna is the source. So first Krishna is ever existing, and from him time to time Yuga Avatar comes. So that's
no, Mataji. There, my question is, yes, Nilamri Radh Mataji. Your answer I got. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, Aditi Lata Mataji, I'm saying first, Soma Surya Yo. So you have discussed the Moon dynasty and Sun dynasty. Parikshit Maharaj is saying. Why is he saying first Moon dynasty and then Sun dynasty. Because in our discussion, 9th canto, first the Sun dynasty was discussed and then the Moon dynasty was discussed. Why is Parikshit Maharaj saying Moon dynasty first instead of Sun dynasty? That was my question. So you are saying because Krishna is the source of all dynasties, so you'll have to explain it, how this turning, why this flipping
Oh,
happened.
can you hear me, Mataji? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm saying Lord Ramchandra came first, his pastime, because if you remember that Krishna from the
Yeah.
cartoon, I remember that Krishna is discussing about Ramchandra's pastime. So Ramchandra came first. Time is not calculated that way, of course, in spiritual world, but Krishna is the source of everything. Krishna is the ever existing form, and from him everyone comes. That's why I'm saying Moon dynasty is prominent more.
How is Moon dynasty related to Krishna?
Krishna came in that dynasty. That's why.
So that you have to say no.
Oh, that's that because Nilamari Mataji said that, I added on to that. I didn't
Acha,
say
like that. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's the point. Okay, that's one reason. Because so all of you understood actually there's other reasons also, but there's one more point here. So this what I'm explaining now is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, and the 10th canto has been commented upon by our acharyas to their heart's content, right? Because this 10th canto is the ashraya, it is the shelter. This is the shelter of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. So one waits to come to the 10th canto, right? While reading all the other 9 cantos patiently, one is waiting to come to the 10th canto. So when the 10th canto comes, the acharyas literally they take each and every word of the 10th canto and they want to, because this 10th canto is glorifying Krishna. So they want to take each and every word, they want to take the opportunity to glorify Krishna through each and every word, through each and every word of the verses. So it may be as simple as Soma Surya, your sun and moon and sun dynasty. There also they find a reason to glorify Krishna. So one point is because Krishna appeared in the moon dynasty, and Krishna is Swayam Bhagwan. He is the, like Aditi Lata Mataji said, he is the original Supreme Lord. Everyone else comes from him. He is the original. Swayam Bhagwan is Krishna. So to highlight that, because Krishna appeared in Moon Dynasty, therefore Moon Dynasty becomes more important, prominent, because Krishna appeared in Moon Dynasty and Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. So therefore Moon Dynasty becomes prominent. So therefore Parikshit Maharaj is taking the name of Soma first. Although while discussing, we have discussed the Sun dynasty first, but Parikshit Maharaj is saying Soma first. One reason. There are other reasons also. The other reason, there are totally 3 reasons given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So another reason is, so this is actually the 3rd reason, that Krishna has appeared in Moon dynasty, therefore Moon dynasty is more prominent. So the first reason is, now if you see by seniority, we studied the Moon dynasty. You know the connection of Lord Brahma to Soma, how Lord Brahma's son is Atri Muni, remember? And Atri Muni's son is Soma. Atri and Anasuya, their son is Soma. So Soma's relation to Brahma is grandson, correct? Soma or moon is the grandson of Lord Brahma. Now what about sun? Sun is one of the Adityas, Vivaswan, right? Adityas means Kashyapa Muni and Aditi. They gave birth to demigods, isn't it? So Vivaswan, the sun god, is the son of Kashyapa Muni and Aditi. Who is Kashyapa Muni? He is the son of Marichi. Who is Marichi? Marichi is the son of Lord Brahma. So what is the relationship of sun, S-U-N, sun, with Lord Brahma? What is the relationship of sun with Brahma?
Grandfather.
No. Brahma's son, Marichi. Marichi's son, Kashyapa. Kashyapa's son,
Great grandfather.
great grandson. So by seniority, who is senior? Moon or sun?
Yeah, moon.
Moon, right? So in a family, one who is senior, he is offered respect first. Moon is the grandson of Brahma. Sun is great grandson of Brahma. So therefore, Moon's name is taken first. So that's one reason given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, giving more respect or taking the name of Soma first. That's one reason. And one more reason, Moon. Moon is the, for in our body, for every sense, every limb, every sense, there is a controlling deity. Yes? So, Moon is the controlling deity for which part of our body, do you know?
Mind.
Mind. Yes. And the sun? Sun is controlling
Eyes.
eyes. So, which is more subtle? Eyes or the mind?
Mind.
Mind. So like that. So that is why, in that sense, because moon is controlling the mind, therefore the moon is more important. So these are the three reasons given. First reason is that the moon is the grandson, whereas sun is great grandson of Lord Brahma. He is more senior. Therefore Parikshit Maharaj says Soma Surya Yo. And the other reason is the moon is controlling the mind. So that's why moon is given more priority over sun. And the third one, the most important one for us, is because Krishna appeared in the moon dynasty. And Krishna is the original Swayam Bhagavan. Therefore, the moon dynasty is given preference. So that part Srila Prabhupada explained in the purport in one of the paragraphs. Yeah, see, the Yadu dynasty belonged to the family descending from Soma. We saw that in the 9th canto. Although the planetary systems are so arranged that the sun, so if you see the calendar, Sunday, Monday, first Sunday, then Monday, right? So according to planetary systems, if you see the arrangement of the planets, sun comes first and then the moon. Although the planetary systems are so arranged that the sun comes first before the moon, Parikshit Maharaj gave more respect to the dynasty of the moon god, the Soma Vamsha, because in the Yadava dynasty, descending from the moon, Krishna had appeared. Then there are two different Kshatriya families, so that is the sun and moon dynasties. There are two dynasties. When the Lord appears, of course, because what is the purpose that the Lord appears to this world? That also we read in the 24th chapter of 9th canto. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamyam paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami. Who's going to do all this? Protecting, annihilating, establishing religious principles. Who does this? Brahmanas do that. Vaishyas do that. Shudras do that. Kshatriyas do that. Giving protection. Kshatriya. Kshatriya means protecting one against harm. Khatra. Khatriya. Right? One who protects others from being hurt is a Kshatriya. So he is protecting. Paritranaya sadhunam. Vinashaya. How he is protecting? By destroying the miscreants. Vinashaya cha dushkritam. And after this, he's establishing the religious principles. Brahmanas will inform. Of course, Brahmanas are the head. They are the guider, the guides. They show the path, but it is enforced by the Kshatriyas. It is enforced by the Kshatriyas, establishing, right, laws, enforcing laws. Who does that? Even law making is done by whom? Administrative department, isn't it? Laws are made by the administration, and then it is enforced by the administrative department. So Kshatriyas do this. And whenever the Lord comes, he comes to establish religious principles, to protect the devotees, to annihilate the miscreants. So therefore he comes, when the Lord comes, he comes as a Kshatriya. He comes as a Kshatriya. That's the point. So he comes either in the Sun dynasty or Moon dynasty. When he comes in the Sun dynasty, he is Lord Ramchandra. When he comes in the Moon dynasty, he is Krishna. Like that. So when the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, he generally appears in a Kshatriya family because he comes to establish religious principles and the life of righteousness. According to the Vedic system, the Kshatriya family is the protector of the human race. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as Lord Ramchandra, he appeared in Surya Vamsha, the family descending from Sun God. And when he appeared as Lord Krishna, he did so in Yadu dynasty or Yadu Vamsha, whose descent was from Moon God. So in the 9th canto, 24th chapter, we have seen the list of all the kings in Yadu Vamsha. All the kings in both the Sun dynasty and Moon dynasty were very exceptional, very powerful, great kings. So that's why Maharaj Parikshit is saying, Paramadbhutam, whatever you have discussed, Ragyam means all these kings, Ubhaya, Vamshyanam, means in these both dynasties, all the kings that you have discussed, their charitam, their character is Parama Adbhutam. It is extremely wonderful. It's just Adbhutam. Adbhutam means it's, you can say, it's amazing, it's mind blowing, like that. So is he satisfied with that? That is the important point. Okay, very good. You have described all this, and is he happy? That's all. Thank you. No. All you have discussed. So first of all, he's thanking. And then, nonetheless, he wanted to hear more about the Soma Vamsha. Why? Because in that dynasty, Krishna appeared. Then there is description of Krishna's abode. Why we are discussing about Krishna's abode here? Anyway, we'll just read. The supreme abode of the personality of Godhead Krishna is described in Brahma Samhita as the abode of Chintamani. Yes. Then the Vrindavan Dham on this earth. Because when Krishna comes, we read, see, Srila Prabhupada is quoting this verse, the 66th verse of the 24th chapter of previous canto. The last two verses that we read before this chapter, the last two verses, 66 and 67, they are talking about Krishna's Leela. Very, very concisely, practically in just, 2 sentences each. The whole Leela is described of Krishna. So, what did we read there in 66? Krishna left his father's home and he went to Vrindavan. We read that, isn't it? You remember? Krishna left his father's home, Vasudev's home, and he went to Vrindavan. Then there was a question why he went to Vrindavan. Then there, in that verse itself, it is said to expand loving dealings with his confidential associates. So Vrindavan is mentioned there. So here Prabhupada is saying about that Vrindavan. Vrindavan, we hear a description of Vrindavan in Brahma Samhita. It is Chintamani Dhama, Chintamani. So similarly, so this Vrindavan is eternal, Golok Vrindavan. The Vrindavan that we see on this earth is just a replica of that Golok Vrindavan, which is described in Brahma Samhita. So in the spiritual sky, Bhagavad Gita 8:20 says, in the spiritual sky there is another eternal nature, transcendental to manifested and unmanifested matter. So in this world, material world, there is manifested and unmanifested, isn't it? There is creation and then there is no creation. After creation, there is annihilation. When there is annihilation, what is there? Nothing is manifest, isn't it? But does it mean because nothing is manifest, nothing is there? No, it is there. In an unmanifest form, it is there in the body of, depending on what type of annihilation it is, right? So if it is partial annihilation, then it is in Garbhodakashaya Vishnu's body. Then complete annihilation, then the whole thing is in Karanarnavashaya Vishnu's body. So at that time, where is creation? It is in an unmanifested form. And again, it is manifested. So material creation goes through manifested and unmanifested phases. It is manifest and it is unmanifest. Beyond both these manifest and unmanifest, there is another realm which is always existing. It is never annihilated. It is always existing. That spiritual world, that is where is my abode, right? Tadhamam paramam mama. There is another eternal nature, transcendental to manifested and unmanifested matter. So when this world is manifested, it is manifest. How do you see it? You can see in the form of many stars, planets, sun, moon, right? Yes. Beyond this is the unmanifested, which is not perceptible to those who are embodied. And beyond this unmanifested, there is the spiritual kingdom, right? So that kingdom is always existing. So in the material nature, material creation, there is repeated creation and annihilation. But in the spiritual nature or in the spiritual world, spiritual planets, there is no annihilation. It is always existing. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that spiritual nature, the spiritual world, is described as Vrindavan or Golok Vrindavan or Vrajadham. The elaborate description of the above mentioned shloka will be found here in the 10th canto. That means what Parikshit Maharaj discussed in just one verse, 66th verse, he just said that Krishna went to Vrindavan. An elaborate discussion of that Vrindavan is going to, that was in the 9th canto. That was just said in one verse, in one word. But that is going to be elaborated in this 10th canto. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. And one more thing, we will see also in the next verses. But Parikshit Maharaj, you will see, he's like quite disappointed, or it's like, that's all, right? Krishna's pastimes in just 2 verses, it's over. By this time, after completing 9 cantos, how many days did Parikshit Maharaj have to live? When Sukadeva Goswami started speaking, how many days did he have to live?
7 days.
7 days. This is the 4th day, the end of 4th day actually. When Srimad, the 10th canto started, 3 days were completed, 4th day also most of the day was over. And at the end of 4th day, so far, Parikshit Maharaj did not drink any water, he didn't eat any food, no sleep. Continuously, day and night, he is hearing Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha means first 9 cantos, he's been hearing. And now, at the end of 9th canto, Krishna's Leela is described in just 2 verses. Parikshit Maharaj became worried. So he is encouraging Sukadeva Goswami to, you will see this word again and again. Parikshit Maharaj says, Vistarena means in detail. Please explain in detail. In detail. It only shows us the eagerness of Parikshit Maharaj, the eagerness to hear about Krishna. And that is the price that one has to pay to receive the mercy of Krishna. And by the way, the mercy, how do you know that you're getting the mercy of Krishna? Through the mercy of devotees. When you receive the mercy of devotees, you can understand you're actually getting the mercy of Krishna. So, and how do you get that mercy? Through your eagerness. So we see in Parikshit Maharaj, if you just observe closely, he's so eager, he doesn't even care. Oh, I have only 3 more days left. Let me just finish the syllabus as soon as possible. I may not have enough time. No, he wants to hear in detail. When we were reading the summary, we saw Parikshit Maharaj, so many questions he's asking, right? Why Krishna went to, all this is going to come again. I'm just telling you a little bit ahead. But why Krishna went to Vrindavan, and then why he killed Kamsa. So many questions. And then asking all these questions, after asking these questions, he's saying, Sukadev Goswami, please explain answers to all these questions in detail. And that's not all. Whatever I have not asked or I have not been able to ask, that means I don't have access to that, right? I may have missed so many points, but you certainly know. You answer whatever I have asked in detail, and also you tell me whatever you know, which I have not asked, that also you tell in detail. Just tell everything in detail. So eager to hear. He doesn't care that he's not eaten, he's not taken any water, he must be tired, he's going to die in 3 days. That's not bothering him. Completely absorbed in hearing Krishna Katha. This type of greed, when one has to hear Krishna Katha, that's when he will get Krishna's attention, right? He will get Krishna's attention, he'll get Krishna's mercy. So, we have 9 processes of bhakti: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. And each of these limbs of bhakti have been perfected by one great personality. And Parikshit Maharaj has perfected Shravanam. He has perfected. That means he achieved perfection of bhakti simply through Shravanam. Only by this one limb he got perfection of bhakti. He got prema simply by hearing. Sukadev Goswami got perfection simply by speaking, by chanting. Prahlad Maharaj got perfection simply by smaranam, remembering the Lord. Prithu Maharaj got perfection by archanam, worshipping the deity. He got perfection. By that one limb, archanam, he got perfection. And vandanam, akrura. Akrura got perfection by vandanam, offering prayers to the Supreme Lord, offering wonderful prayers in glorification of the Supreme Lord. Akrura got perfection. Then Dasyam, actually, yeah, Dasyam. Dasyam is Hanuman, Hanumanji. He got perfection simply by Dasyam. Then Sakhyam is Arjun. Padasevanam is Lakshmi Devi. Padasevanam, serving the lotus feet of the Lord. She got perfection. And then Atma Nivedanam is Bali Maharaj, offering everything else, everything to the Supreme Lord. And there's one personality who achieved perfection by performing all 9 limbs. Who is that? Who got perfection by all 9 limbs?
Ambarish
Maharaja.
Ambarish Maharaj. Yes, like that. So Parikshit Maharaj, he got perfection by Shravanam, and that we see. And Shravanam means that eagerness to hear about Krishna, regardless of whether I'm tired, I have not eaten, I have not taken food, I'm going to die, he left his family. So we'll see all this. It's all coming. But this is just a prelude. But today's verse is Parikshit Maharaj's question, right? What we read today is text 1 is Parikshit Maharaj's question to Sukadev Goswami. My dear Lord, you have elaborately described the dynasties of both the moon god and the sun god with the exalted and wonderful character of their kings. And then Srila Prabhupada's purport we read. Okay, so we will stop Bhagavatam reading here and I will read Bhagavad Gita and Leelamrita. So Krishna Ashish read. So Madhava will begin tomorrow. Okay, Madhava will begin reading tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, text 8, I believe. What happened? I don't see it.
Mataji, do you remember the pastime where I don't remember fully, where Lord, where Lakshmi Devi had someone else was wanting to have the service of Pada Seva of Vishnu and Lakshmi Devi.
Ritu Maharaj.
What was that, Mataji? I forgot. I was trying to remember. Can you explain that, Mataji?
Yes. So Ritu Maharaj is, so he performed this yagya, right? He was actually going to do 100 Ashwamedha yagyas, and Indra stole the horse and all that. So finally, the Lord said, it's okay, you don't have to complete. So he stopped at 99. Being pleased with him, the Lord appeared, Lord Vishnu appeared there along with Indra and all the demigods, everyone else appeared. And then later on, we see the 4 Kumaras had come and they were also, they instructed Prithu Maharaj. So when Lord Vishnu appeared there, Prithu Maharaj is offering prayers to Lord Vishnu. And then he expressed in those prayers his desire to serve the lotus feet. And he said he was hoping that the Lord will, although Lakshmi Devi is there already, but he will be favorable to Prithu Maharaj because he's like a son, or we can just look up quickly. I'll go there now. This has been a while ago that we read this, so I don't want to just make any mistakes, so we'll just look it up. Prithu Maharaj. His prayers are there. My dear Lord, you are the best of the demigods who can offer benedictions. Why, therefore, should any learned person ask you for benedictions meant for living entities bewildered by the modes of nature? Such benedictions are available automatically, even in the lives of living entities suffering in hellish conditions. My dear Lord, you can certainly bestow merging into your existence, but I do not wish to have such a benediction. My dear Lord, I therefore do not wish to have the benediction of merging into your existence, a benediction in which there is no existence of the nectarian beverage of your lotus feet. Right? If I merged, then there is no nectar of your lotus feet. I want the benediction of at least 1 million years for thus I may be able to hear about the glories of your lotus feet from the mouths of your pure devotees. And then further, my dear Lord, you are glorified by the selected verses uttered by great personalities. Such glorification of your lotus feet is just like saffron particles. When the transcendental vibration from the mouths of great devotees carries the aroma, the vibration, transcendental vibration from the mouths of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of your lotus feet. The forgetful living entity gradually remembers his eternal relationship with you. Devotees thus gradually come to the right conclusion about the value of life. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction but the opportunity to hear from the mouth of your pure devotees. What does he want to hear about the Lord's lotus feet? My dear highly glorified Lord, if one in the association of pure devotees hears even once the glories of your activities, he does not, unless he is nothing but an animal, give up the association of devotees. For no intelligent person would be so careless as to leave their association. The perfection of chanting and hearing about your glories was accepted even by the goddess of fortune, who desired to hear of your unlimited activities and transcendental glories. Now I wish to engage in the service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to serve just like the goddess of fortune, who carries the lotus flower in her hand, because his lordship, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Okay. Why she's engaged in the service? Because he's the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. I am afraid that the goddess of fortune and I would quarrel because both of us would be attentively engaged in the same service. And further he's saying, my dear Lord of the universe, the goddess of fortune Lakshmi is the mother of the universe, and yet I think that she may be angry with me because of my intruding upon her service and acting on that very platform to which she is so much attached. Yet I am hopeful that even though there is some misunderstanding, you will take my side. You will take my part. But you are very much inclined to the poor, and you always magnify even insignificant service unto you. Therefore, even though she becomes angry, I think there is no harm for you because you are so self-sufficient that you can do without her. That means even if Lakshmi Devi becomes angry, one second. So even though Lakshmi Devi becomes angry and out of anger she may leave you, but you have nothing to lose, right? Lakshmi Sahasrashata Sambrama Sevyamanam. So many Lakshmis are serving you all the time. So you don't have to lose anything, even if she becomes angry. I am hoping that you will support me. If we have an argument, because both of us are trying to do the same service, both are trying to serve your lotus feet, and she's very much attached to that service, and then she may become angry with me that I have come to compete with her, but I have this attachment to your lotus feet also. If she becomes angry with me, I'm hoping that you will take my side. Why you will take my side? Because you are very kind to the poor, and you, even someone does some insignificant service, you magnify it so much. And by supporting me, if you make Lakshmi ji more angry, and if she leaves you, oh, you don't have to worry, because so many Lakshmis are there in your service, like that. Okay, Aditi Lata Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Actually, there was no tip. His prayer was like that, right?
Yeah, it's just his prayer. This is just like a rasa, that's all. Nothing
So
like that.
nice. I all of a sudden remembered, and if you didn't explain, this would have bugged me forever, till I got the answer. Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you for, that was, I think years ago we read the fourth canto. So it was nice to
Recollect.
remember
Yes.
again, recollect. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. So what should I do? Let's stop here. Actually, it's time. I didn't do um, Bhagavad Gita. I was going to do, but I think we'll stop. It's already 15 minutes past time.
Well, I'm
Let's,
not working today, so I am okay. I don't know about others. Because today is solar eclipse here. No, not because of that. My husband is going out of station. That's why I'm here.
Acha, acha. Yeah, but others may have work, right?
Yeah,
We should
that's
stick to time. Tomorrow we will do Bhagavad Gita and Leela Mrita. Thank you all so much, dear
thank
devotees.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All of you have a wonderful Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.